This like Ken versus Ryu. We can do this in high rule at high noon. A monsoon, a Kamehameha waves will destroy all the concrete these rappers say they pave. New slaves, chains hanging out the whip, no brains. Double cups that they sip. You want fame? Or you want to be rich till they run up in your crib like SEAL Team 6? Shit. Don't believe me, ask Drum. Life's a bitch like your mom's. Bombs over Baghdad, no Saddam. Why these rappers holding hands? Can't we all get along? Nah. The villain ain't feeling it. And if you ask me, takeover is imminent. All these rappers do is emulate the penmanship. That's why I stopped writing so these sharks can't bite it. Clash of the Titans, Zeus with the lightning. Be it like a Viking, flows that excite them. I mean, I got them happy to hear lyrics now, cause all we getting is a bunch of future hand-me-downs. It's Game of Thrones, so whoever wanna wear the crown, this dragon will spit fire until it's ash around. You don't know me, better ask around. Graduated from the streets with my cap and gown.
All right, guys, so we're back at the Convo. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm here with Teek Hall. How you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for coming.
Glad to be here.
So, first time, let's just jump right into it. So, I know for a fact you're from Detroit.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you're not wearing your Detroit hat.
I ain't have a good one to wear with this shirt. So.
Oh, okay. You have a few only?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. How long you been here in Phoenix for?
Like, probably a little over 10 years.
Oh, 10 years. Okay.
Yeah, so
cool.
I've been out here for a minute since I was like 21.
Oh, shit. What made you move out here?
No, like, big reason. Just some friends moved out here, invited me, and I never thought I'd come out to Arizona for any reason. It wasn't on my bucket list or anything of places to be. Mm-hmm. So I figured I'd come give it a shot, and then, just the job market is better out here than it was in Detroit. Okay. And just getting away from all the snow.
Right. Were you doing music down there, or?
Yeah, I've been doing music since I was in high school, so I was doing music in Detroit.
Okay. And you came out here, you kept doing music, or just take a little time off? How did that work out?
No, I've always been doing music. Like when I moved from Detroit, I moved to Ohio, and I was doing music in Ohio. And then when I moved to Arizona, it was from Ohio, actually.
Okay. All right, cool. And then you came out here. So tell me a little bit about, I know you're part of a team or collab called Wax Society. What's going on with that?
Nothing is really going on with that at the moment. It's kind of like stalled out.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like disbanded at the moment with the Wax Society. I do have a group called Vader versus Foley that I'm in with another member who was in Wax Society named Collateral. Yeah, so me and him we still do music together. We have that project, and then other than that, I'm just working on my solo project at the moment.
That album scored number 3 on the Phoenix Times 9 best hip hop projects.
Yeah,
you saw that article?
Uh-huh.
Okay, how did you feel about that?
I mean, it felt good. I didn't expect it or anything. When I saw it come out and was going through it, I thought it was cool that our project and Mega Ran's project was on there because they were both wrestling themed projects. So 2 of those got on there, so that was cool. But didn't expect it. Just sent it to Collateral, let him know what was going on. He was excited. He said, because I think it came out like either the same day or around the time that the freshman cover had just dropped. So,
right, it was around the same time, yeah.
Right, so he was like excited, like, oh, it's like we got on the freshman cover or something like that. But I mean, we were on a New Times last year for like the top 15 artists of 2015. We were in it, so with Wax Society.
Oh, okay.
So
it's not a new thing for you guys to have that recognition, but
yeah, I mean, we're out here working. We were working hard with Wax Society. We're still working hard. But I mean, I did a show this month. I did the Royce 5'9" show this month. I did Jadakiss last month. Mm-hmm. I think the month before that, me and Collateral with Vader versus Foley, we did the Burner show. Okay. So
just staying busy with like bigger shows then? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I mean, that was my focus this year. Last year I did a lot of more smaller shows, more local shows, and this year one of my priorities was like I want to do like the bigger shows, even though we were doing big shows then with Wax Society and everything else, but just me, myself, as the Teek Hall brand, I was making myself accessible to a lot of more local, smaller shows just to try to get my name out there more. And I feel like this year I wanted to cut that back and just focus on my brand doing the larger shows.
Something with more exposure then?
Yeah, just so that I feel like locally people should know who I am. So at this point, I'm trying to reach out to people who I might not initially be able to reach out to. You know, when you attach your name to a bigger artist, then you're going to be able to like piggyback off their fans or get more fans. So if I'm doing a larger show, it's going to be people who bought tickets online. It's going to be people who bought tickets who don't know me. So that way they get exposed to my music as well.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about your album. So it's wrestling themed. Do you think that, like, how did that even come about? Are you a big wrestling fan?
Yeah, I am. So with the Vader versus Foley, I actually wasn't on wrestling at the time. I was like on a hiatus from it. But Collateral, he was big into wrestling at the time, and he would talk about wrestling with me, and with my knowledge of just wrestling when I was watching it, you know, we would talk about wrestling and things like that. And he's a big fan of Mick Foley, so he'd always call himself like Foley and like different flows and stuff like that as like an AKA. And I had put out a project called Vader. So it was like a Star Wars themed project, so that's where the Vader came from. But Vader also being a wrestler, we were like, oh, that'd be dope if we, you know, do this Vader versus Foley thing.
Big Van Vader, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we always, it was just like something we always talked about. Probably for like a couple years, we were like, oh yeah, one day we'll do this, and it was just like code name, like Vader versus Foley. That wasn't the actual name or anything. And then we were like, you know what, let's just call it that. Like, we're gonna call the group and the album Vader versus Foley, like it's something different. And that's how it just came about. We kind of like knocked it out very quickly, probably within like 2 weeks we did that project. But with the new generation and crop of rappers that's coming up and things like that, it's definitely you know, a change of guard with what they're doing, because they're looking up to people like Future and Rich Homie Quan or Young Thug or something, who they're taking what they are already doing and taking it a step further. So, like, I don't know, man, it's just sounding like mumbling. And I was talking to my friends just about this the other day, and it's just like, you know, this new generation, they don't really care about lyrics. It's all just a vibe and a feeling that you get from the record.
You're right. They really are just kind of riding the beat nowadays. So, talking about influences and whatnot, what are some of your influences?
I don't really know. I mean, when I was coming up, first starting, I mean, rappers like Benny Siegel, Jadakiss were people who I listened to a lot. Cameron around that time, just the Locks in general. I listened to a lot of East Coast music, so Wu-Tang. I'm not really taking anything from this new school, as far as flow wise and things like that. But, you know, coming up in the 90s and things, and people just care more about their lyrics and things like that. I mean, probably like my top 5 right now would probably be like Royce, Killer Mike, Pusha T, Styles P, and I don't know, man. Probably like Rick Ross.
Okay.
He's up there. People probably might be like, what? But I mean,
that's a pretty funny list. I mean,
his albums are dope, though. So I mean, like, I don't know. It has that
the feel,
the listen factor. Like, you want to re-listen to those records.
Oh, okay.
You know, instead of like, even with like Kendrick and the Pimp a Butterfly or whatever. Like, he's dope. He's not in my top 5 or whatever, but Good Kid, Mad City, I like better than the Pimp a Butterfly. It was dope for what it was. It was like different. It was artistic, and yeah, he was talking about the struggle a lot more in that. But like, you hear those and you're like, that's a dope record, but it's not something that you necessarily want to listen to a lot.
Who were you making music for?
I mean, I'm definitely making music for people who still care about lyrics and want to hear lyrics and things like that. That's a big part of my music, storytelling and whatnot. Just, you know, I put effort and work into what I have to say, so I don't really want it to just be like looked over by like beats and things like that. Not saying that my beats is whack. The beats that's on my albums are dope, but I just want to have a good blend of both. And so I don't know.
A little more substance, basically.
Yeah, so I mean, if that's the type of stuff that you want to listen to, and those are the type of shows that I connect my name to. So, if you're like I did the Royce show, so if you were a fan of Royce, then you came out to hear some hip hop and some lyrics. So then that means that you'll probably like what I'm doing when I'm up there too. So try to connect those good. Don't want to be doing anything like a little Dickie show or something, and then
yeah.
My music and his music probably wouldn't go together good.
Right. Does that also translate when you're doing features with other artists, like locally? Do you filter out like people who like probably won't vibe with your shit and vice versa?
People who I've done features with and things like that, if they want to do a feature with me, then they know my music and know what I'm into or whatever. I don't think my feature at this point is something that would really like get you more popping in the Arizona scene, just because I'm a little up there, like you said, being like number 3 on that list and stuff like that. I still feel like a lot of people out here still don't really know who I am, so I don't know what my verse would do. So the people who reach out to me to get a verse from me, they got to be people who are listening to my music, enjoy what I'm doing, and they're just like, oh man, he's dope, I want to feature him on something. Right. And for that, that's dope. So something like that I would definitely do. But if it's whack, you still probably won't get the feature from me. I gotta hear it first, so I can't attach my name to something that's not going to be good. So if you reach out to me for a verse and I turn it down, or something like that, still, I appreciate you reaching out for the verse and enjoying my music.
Don't take it personally.
Right, don't take it personal. I'm not just out here.
Don't take it personally.
I'm not just out here for the money, man.
Right.
I also need some respect on my name. So
now, talking about Respect the Underground, they had an article about indie artists charging for features. Now we're just talking about features. What are your thoughts on that?
I feel like it's all about what you get. What are you going to get out of it? And probably whatever type of like how that artist also, So like, I don't know, like Vader, he signed the alumni. I'm working on a project. I got him on my project. I paid him for a feature. So, I feel like
he has a bigger fan base that would help you out.
Yeah, right? He's got a bigger platform, a bigger fan base. He's signed to a label now. So if you're signed to a label, then obviously you're on I don't even know if that's on the indie scale anymore at that point, because now you're going to be on a national push. So, but somebody like me, I would charge for a feature too, just depending on who the artist is. Like, if it's just somebody who saw me out somewhere, heard me, liked me, wanted me on something, and I don't really know too much about this person, but I hear their music and it's good, I'll probably still charge them for a feature. Because you got to pay for things, you got to pay for studio time. I don't have a studio. So why would I go spend my own money to do something for somebody else?
Right.
So.
Now, if the incentive was there, like, he has a studio, just come through and drop, get on the track.
But if I don't know that person, then it's like...
But if you obviously going to do a little research on it, we just talked about how you...
Oh, no, I'm talking about, like, know them, like, cool with them. Like, if Collateral was like, hey, man, come through to the studio and drop this, I'd be like, yeah, no problem. Right. But for somebody who I don't know, I don't know if I'm just going to be like, okay, yeah, I'm going to come through to the studio and drop this. That's me taking time out of my day doing things and stuff like that to come assist somebody else. I feel like there's got to be something in it. But I feel like if you're on the same level with that person, then you guys could maybe barter something else. Like, hey, I got the studio time, I got these beats or something like that. Or, if it's just going to help each other out on the same point. Like me and let's say like Rocky Tirade or something like that. Like, I feel like, we can like exchange verses. Like, oh, let me get a verse for this project, I'll give you a verse for yours or something. And I feel like we would both gain fans, but I feel like we're almost like on the same level as like me and Bag of Tricks or something like that. Like, I wouldn't charge him for a feature. I wouldn't expect him to charge me for a feature.
Right.
So, but I'm sure if somebody reached out to Futuristic, that he would be charging for a feature. So, you know.
Right. Well, Futuristic has a huge fan base. So,
right. So it depends on what level you're from. So, but I'm saying, even though some people still show hometown love, you know, like he got big from here. So, you know, if somebody's like, oh man, I'm from Arizona, blah, 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 he might still charge them, but charge them something less than he charges somebody out of state, you know?
Right. All right, guys. So we're going to go ahead and end the show here. Again, I want to thank you so much. We got Teek Hall in the house. Thanks so much for tuning into the Convo. Once again, where can we find your music?
No problem, man. Thanks for having me out here. You can Google me. You can Google Teek Hall. You can Google Wax Society. You can Google Vader versus Foley. Or you can just look for us on SoundCloud, Vader versus Foley, or Wax Society, YouTube, Wax Society, or Teek Hall. And just, you know, make sure you add me on those social media accounts so that you can stay in tune to different shows that's coming out here. Don't want y'all to miss out on nothing dope that y'all might be interested in.
Yeah, guys, go and follow him. Go follow this music. Go and listen to this fucking album. It's actually really, really sick. Here it is again. And he was nice enough to bring us some cool shit.
Yeah, don't be turned off if you don't like wrestling, man, because the project...
It's not really about wrestling. I mean, it's wrestling.
Dope on both ends, you know. We made it so that if you like wrestling but don't necessarily like hip-hop, you'll still be interested in it. But also, if you're not up to date or what's going on with wrestling, that it still is good to listen to if you just like hip-hop and just like bars and things like that.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. It's all over social media. It's all over the internet. Just there's the link right here, guys. Just, you know, look it up. Definitely follow him. And so yeah, thanks for tuning into the Convo, guys. Really appreciate it. We're out.
Peace.
All summer, stay mobbing with a villain turned up, bumping Phoenix, what up? Stained glass windows in the hoop, they lost it all in the loose, if they're winning till they hoop.